Samaba Kwasi Kwarteng our Kasama Kennedy Agyapong Wakasa papa. Or see Kennedy ni policies miensa no whatever. First one, a year juma. Second one, a year juma. And a third one, a year juma. Now, if you're so, I need some more Kenya no kure. To say Ghana, ye here be biaka juma. Because Anna Kensu, a juma na waka ho asem. Say, baby, or date when we could be an or say Hawker. Into the or the Boba Numami. So the company, baby, about Kusi company, beer, also me roots. I bet my cocoa fund by the other. And I put that at the export to an or baby a copy, I was so good to see it. It was solved two problems at the same time. Oh. And you know, was it yet to Macken and the cross to me and the Oka.
Final balloting can pick number one. In terms of the PR, in terms of the marketing, in terms of even visibility on the ballot, we feel that it gives us another advantage. And from day one, we have always maintained that our campaign is divine. And so, I mean, for it to be one, we believe that it's even more closer to God. So we are very hopeful that at the first we are going to win. We are going to sell the number. We are going to campaign. We are going to talk to the delegates. We believe that sovereignty resides in them. Over 200,000 delegates. We are going to tell them the message, the current state of the party, and the need that I have always maintained and Ken has always maintained, that even in the spirit of revival, we need a new face. And that face, even from the balloting, clearly shows that Ken, number one, should lead the party. Kennedy is bringing, I give you three things. One is jobs, two is jobs, three is jobs. That's the most important thing. There's not been any contradiction. Initially, I told you that we were not so much expectant. We are also not fixated with any number. But I'm saying that even after the balloting, number one gives us another advantage in terms of market, in terms of PR, in terms of visibility on the ballot. And those ones are things that I'm sure we have the right to state them clearly. I'm sure you even agree with me on that one, those ones.
You that the positions don't matter. That if people want to vote for you, wherever you are, they will look for you. For me, for marketing purposes, the first one and the last one, because of a CRO and a SRO. But otherwise, I told you that any position that you are, people who want to vote for you will look for you.
You're also emphatic that that will make it easier if you're down or top.
Why not? Why not? Of course, that's true, but really, it doesn't matter. People will look for you wherever you are, if they want to vote for you. Yeah.
You're confident that your candidate...
The last time people were at number one.
Who were those people?
Who was at number one in 2023? And what happened to them? So really, but for marketing purposes, it's easier to say a CRO and a SRO. Yeah, but otherwise, anybody who wants to vote for you, they will look for where you are. Where was John Mahama in the last election?
That of the NPP. Coming to power in 2001 under President Kufuor, it was ASEO that brought us to power. So when you are now ASEO, you are selling Kennedy Agyapong as ASEO. That will be very easy.
Having participated in the balloting, should we take it that you don't have any problems with the party with respect to the development fee?
We don't have any problem with the party. If we had any problem, they would have prevented us from partaking the process. So once we are here like any other person, I'm not sure you are directing this question to any other candidate.
No,
why?
But because we heard that he had not paid.
Oh, they are only rumors. They are only rumors.
But have you paid?
We have satisfied all the conditions. That is why we have participated in the final process leading to the printing of the ballot paper, which will be used on the 31st.
So Kennedy Agyapong paid the 4 million development fee?
I think I'll direct you to the finance office. They will tell you. Because after all, you are thriving on rumors. You have told us that rumors. So go there and verify.
I mean, sources close to the party. You have not paid. And so that's why I'm...
So we are in the party headquarters. We are right in front of the headquarters. Go there and find out.
We are with the campaign.
You are told, and the 48 hours have passed. No, so it passed yesterday. Okay. So it tells you that
you are also aware of those rumors because you were saying that.
No, you are saying that we were given 48 hours, and the 48 hours expired yesterday, and today there's been a further process subsequent to the 48 hours, which is the balloting.
Well, indeed, the race is heating up. Joining me in the studio for reactions on the various positions on the ballot right now is Yao Poku-Mensah, his spokesperson for Dr. Yao Osei-Duchum. And I also have with me in the studio Kwasi Kwarteng, spokesperson for Kennedy Agyapong. And also joining us, I'm told via Zoom, will be Dr. Ikea Amwakwa, right? If my memory serves me right, Amwakwa rather. She's deputy spokesperson for Dr. Bawumia campaign's team, and we appreciate your time. I'll start in the studio really with Kwasi Kwarteng. Your candidate is #1 on the ballot. What does that mean for you?
Thank you very much. You see, election is a process. It's never an event. And the process has stages. And all the stages, you need to meet the requirements at every stage. You recall, we started with opening of nomination, then filing, you pick the nomination, you file, a time will also come where you have to do balloting before even the voting itself. Even there is campaigning and that. So this is just part of the process that we have to be part. We are grateful to the party. We wish all the other candidates the best. We congratulate each and every one, including ourselves. Before I went in, I indicated that we are so much fixated on numbers. We are of the strong and firm conviction that Ken's election, and of course, Ken's candidature is more divine than we can imagine. It's about time that God is using Ken to restore a certain order. Recall the days of the Israelites, when the Israelites were determined to move in a certain direction, and they intimated to God that they wanted a human king, and God gave them so. And at some point, Israelites fell, the conditions, everything about Israel really went down. And the Israelites went back to God, and God gave them David. So we are taking an inspiration from that story, that yes, Saul has been rejected, a new David is coming in. So everything that happens through this process is in the hands of the Lord, who is introducing the David, and that new David is Honorable Kennedy Agyapong. So yes, the numbers are good in terms of one being visibility. If you want to look at how easier you are able to identify it on the ballot, it gives us another advantage. In terms of even people who are so no much sure or undecided, sometimes they go and they vote for one. In terms of marketing of the number, also it gives us another advantage. But like I indicated, we as Team Ken are not so much fixated on numbers. We are going to the delegates and sell our good message. And I sat on this platform 2 days ago, and I said that the message of Ken is very simple. Aside demonstrating the capacity and the capability to win power for the NPP, his message is simple. And I paraphrase it in 3 key sentences. And that is jobs, jobs, jobs. That's all Ken is going to do. So we'll go back to the polling station executives, over 200,000 of them. Sovereignty resides in them. They are the kingmakers. They are going to decide who leads the party. We will not bank all our hopes on numbers. We will not bank all our hopes on prophecies, even though the direction is so clear, the momentum is so strong, the conviction is so firm up that Ken is going to lead the party. We are not banking our hopes there. We'll go to the delegates and appeal to them and sell our message and let them know that we went into an election out of 276 constituencies, 199 of them, we lost them bitterly. 345,000 of people that went to cast their vote, voted for our PCs, voted against our presidential candidate. Out of 9 regions with about 98 seats, we have just 5. NDC has 93 of them. There are 4 regions, as I speak to you, we don't even have a representation. Worst performance in the history of our politics, from 92 till now, 1.6 million votes difference. We are going to sell this message to them. Then we give them a message of hope, the assurance that the personality, the credibility of Kennedy Agyapong, the marketability. And when I say marketability, we have to separate marketability from visibility. People could be here for 16 years, well visible, visibility in the area of presence, but they may not as well be marketed as Kennedy Agyapong. Marketability translates into acceptability. Ken is accepted because people and the whole public trust him. So we are going to show his strength and then assure them of the jobs. And we are so much convinced that with the help of God, just like the Bible says that the heart of the king is in the hands of the Lord, and like the river that runneth, wherever he likes is where he places it. We are so much convinced that 31st, the people are going to vote for Ken.
to market the positions on the ballot. I also be coming back to you just to get your thoughts on the general elections and how you plan to ensure that, depending on who wins the primaries, how you plan to rally behind the winner.
Yeah, this time she wasn't condescending. She has been very nice.
Kwasi Kwarteng, we'll come back to you in the studio, but then let me bring in Dr. Ike Tando and Professor H.A. Sikanku to join the conversation right now here on the Pulse. I'll start with Dr. Ike Tando, because your specialty has to do with PR and marketing. And so looking at the candidates that these political parties have put out, who do you think is best fit to lead the party? And what strategy really should the communicators adopt in selling their candidate?
Thank you very much. And good afternoon to your listeners and your viewers. I don't think I would be fair if I should stick my neck out and say that Mr. A or Dr. B is the one the party should choose. They will come and cut my head off if I'm supposed to do that. I want to allow free, fair elections to happen. So I wish them all the best. So I wouldn't be able to answer your first question as to who should win or who is the most marketable person that should be able to lead the NPP. But so having said that, I think all of them do have equal opportunities of winning if they are able to package themselves well, if they are able to get the thrust and the faith of their party. And then remember, after 31st elections, if they manage their politicking very well, they all have to rally around one person. Whether your Kwasi Kwarteng or my brother Opoku Mensah, who is on your studio in your studio right now, and then Kwasi Kwarteng, all of them will have to come together to support whoever the NPP will give. Whoever will give them the note to. So in terms of that, I wouldn't be able to stick my neck out. But for your second question, what strategies, PR strategies, I think that they should use? I've been listening to the numbers game and all the talk about Asieho and Esieho. Yes, everybody would understand that when you look at the primacy effect, definitely people will always want to remember what they see first. So it has some sort of advantage. And you got, on the other side, you also look at the recency effect. People would also want to recall what they saw last or they heard last. So that will work for the first, that is Kennedy Agyapong, and the last person, is it my Akonta engineer? Is the fifth, yes. Engineer Okamene is my Akonta. Also there. So it's work. They will have some sort of slight advantage over them. But when you look at history, when you look at things that has also happened before, even the body politics of Ghana, I realize that the numbers game would also have to play just a little advantage to them. In the immediate past elections, I think Dr. Bama was first on the ballot box when it came to the general elections, but he could not win. So I don't think the communicators speaking for them or the candidates themselves, they should be too much excited about where they are. Although I've explained that if you have the primacy effect or the recency effect, it might play a little bit to your advantage. But what I would say is that if I were them, I've heard all of them talking. I've also been monitoring some of their messaging, and they seem to focus on the Ghana who wins power for the party. I seem like they are going to the general election. This is a primary election. So if I were any of them, first of all, I would want to do target messaging. We have about 2,000 people or over 2,000 people in that you are going to solicit for their vote. I don't know why they are
200,000.
200,000, sorry.
Yes.
That's over 200,000 people that they are going to solicit their vote and ask them to vote for. But when I do analysis of some of the communication that are coming around, I feel like 31st is the general elections, and I wonder, you have not won the primaries first. How are you looking? Why are you jumping to winning the general elections? Although at the end of the day, the person who win the this primaries would have to be marketed to win the general elections. But my advice to them, or my approach as a political strategy, would be, how do I appeal to the 20,000 people? What do the 20,000 people want to hear? What are the things that they are looking for? What attributes would be attractive to the 20,000 people who are going to vote? That is where I want to draw and craft and frame my communication, my messaging to address. How do I make myself attractive? Although I've also been hearing some thoughts about the party hierarchy trying to figure out one person against the other. If I were in the and then working for any of them, I'll ask myself, okay, let's take it that it is true that a party would want to favor somebody. Okay, what can I also do so that I can also buy into that favor? Instead of being antagonistic and then fighting and then throwing tantrums, I wouldn't want to adopt that approach. I would want to adopt an approach where I would win the love, where I would make my brand attractive, acceptable, liking, by appealing to the emotional needs of the people who are going to vote. Throwing tantrums and trying to defend, spending a lot of time trying to attack each other or defending what other people are saying about your candidate might do a little. Elections and then brands management is all about perception. So if they are saying that your candidate lost the election and then we shouldn't be brought back, as they are saying against Dr. Baumwa, what kind of messaging are you putting across to make sure that you nullify that narrative? If they are saying that Kennedy Agyapong is harsh, he's brute, as people are saying, it's not a political presidential material, what kind of key messages are you going to? Don't be distracted about some of the things that are not so much necessary. Your focus is to win. Your focus is to do what I call targeted messaging that will appeal to the very people who have the mandate to bring your candidate to lead the party. And then after that, we can look at how we can make ourselves or our campaign more appealing to the general public, because we are going to face either, I don't want to borrow Kwasi Kwarteng's description of Julius Debra as somebody who's always blogging. I don't want to go into that. But we are going to look at either it is Julius Debra or instead Asiedu Ketia or Haruna Iduso as to. So that's how I would have approached it if I were working for any of them. What am I saying? One, focus on targeting messaging, focusing on narratives, messaging that would address what they want to see, what they want to know, the strength that your candidates do have. How appealing would it be to the people who are going to vote for you on 31st of January? What are the strengths? What are the key strengths? You can talk, if I were in my Baumia's camp, I would want to draft, tell stories, craft messaging around digitalization, the economic thing. That is his strength. If I were Kwasi Kwarteng, also in Kennedy Agyapong, I just want to highlight and then send very persuasive messaging about how results-oriented businessman he is, how he'll be able to give jobs, etc., because he has done it before. So let's look at a very good analysis of each of the candidates. If I were the cons person, and then look at the key attribute, the key strength. How can you draft messaging, create stories, create comms, create arts, create appealing, persuasive messages that would appeal to the people who would want who have the power to go and vote? Let's control the perceptions. Let's build a brand that will be attractive, that the party people would want to vote for. And then before I end, if even the party structures like you, if even Ghanaians like you, that they think that you are marketable, they think that you can win, and your party people do not vote for you, you can never be the presidential candidate. So don't so much focus. I can understand Kwasi Kwarteng, Opoku Mensah, and others when they try to drive the conversation around who will win them power. But my advice to them is that focus on how to win 31st January. Then after that, you can come and let's talk about how best we can also market your candidate to win the general elections.
Thank you so much, Doc, for your time here on The Pulse. Let me wrap up with Ekia. We've just been hearing from Dr. Ike Tando say that, you know, the positioning of the candidates on the ballot also helps with visibility. What's your thoughts moving forward? How do you plan to ensure that your messaging and your strategy is to win that seat coming 31st of January? The Pulse. Let me wrap up with my gentlemen in the studio. I'll start with Kwasi Kwarteng. You may want to respond to some of the concerns about the character of your candidate. How do you plan to market that moving forward?
First, and today let me commend the Kwasi. It's been so nice on the show, and it matters her beauty. So she should keep up.
Okay, I'm sure you've heard the compliment.
And on the data aspect, yes, it's true. There may not be any empirical data to support that Ghanaians want Ken, except what Musa Dankwa has put out there publicly. But at least there is data to show that Ghanaians do not want Dr. Baumia. And that data can be drawn from the last election. It was clear, the outcome of the last election was so clear that there is a data as such.
But she feels consistency is key.
Yes, consistency is key, but if you are consistent with the wrong product, what will be the outcome? You can't be consistent with the wrong product. And that is the message of also Honorable Kwasi Kwarteng. I've seen that they say consistency is key. But my response is that yes, consistency is key, but you shouldn't be consistent with the wrong things. Because other than that, if you keep doing the wrong things, you get the same outcome. And there's a more reason why I indicated that even in the spirit of, nobody is saying Dr. Bawumia has not come to do well. 16 years, all your rich ideas, all your superior ideas, I'm sure by now you would have at least given your best to the party. But there comes a time where you also need to leave the scene and other people come in, revive the party, unite the party, and take the party forward. On the character of Ken, I've always said that Ken is a human being. He has strength, he has shortcomings. We've never said we are selling to Ghanaians a spotless candidate. No. He has his shortcomings. But even those shortcomings are even something that we can galvanize and use as a strength to help this country. People say he's temperamental. I will also look at it in a way that Ken is so overly passionate in getting results done. Ken is able to look into his own party people's face and challenge them. Extremely disciplined. Unlike what is going on in other camps, Abronya has been attacking Ken for the past 7 to 8 months, and nobody has brought him to order. This will never happen under the leadership and watch of Ken. And these are all character traits and the trademarks and the hallmarks we need of our good leader. So let nobody confuse the issues by defining who a presidential material is. The presidential material is one who can deliver. I'm sure Ghanaians will be more interested in who can give them jobs, who can deal with galamsey, who can deal with own party people, especially his own appointees. Than a leader who will come and say, I didn't know this, I didn't know that, don't visit the sense of my team members on me. Meanwhile, you could have looked into their face and tell them that, Mr. Bonye, what you are doing...
If your candidate loses this election, will you rally behind whoever wins?
You see, this is so basic. There are two outcomes in election. It's either you win or you lose. It is our expectation and hope that we win. But if they are likely to happen, what do? We all come together in the spirit of unity and support the party. Just like any of us do not have a different chance or opportunity. If Dr. Bawumia, Dr. Agyapong, my boss, Dr. Duchum, any of them, whoever wins or whoever loses, will come together and then push the party forward. So our commitment to the party first before even our individual visions and individual aspirations and hopes comes in.